Wow. Okay, probably my favorite track I've heard so far. Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And we're going to be taking a look at Dreamcatcher's What dance video. This is their practice room version. I typically prefer these because they're around one takes, you know, always. And it's nice to be able to see the choreography and its original intention with the artistry involved. And I do know I'll be taking a look at the music video later on down the line once I'm finished with all the dance practices. And it helps me be able to just kind of see everything for what it is and not have the camera modify anything. So not only am I going to be doing an analysis, I'm going to be trying to pinpoint who is who within the group. For me, out of common courtesy for a K-pop marathon that I do, with Dreamcatcher's case, my goal is to know at least 4 members just offhand, being able to just reference them in general. And I do have a list courtesy of Patreon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do have a list of what they're wearing as well as who's wearing what, and that's really going to help me be able to at least try to put a face to a name in hopes that maybe some of that will retain as it carries over into the other dance practices. So without further ado, I think it's time to take a little watch. Oh, uh-oh. It's blurrier this time. Ooh. I feel like I've heard this song too. Nice. 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 That's Dami because of her voice. Nice. Oh, this is giving me Super Chicks vibes, I swear. It really does. Oh, I love it though. This is such a nostalgic rock sound. If you've ever listened to Christian rock from the 2000s, this is giving that, and I am here for it. This is probably one of my favorite tracks as I'm hearing it right now, just for the sheer nostalgic value of it. Why? Yes. It has a certain degree of empowerment behind it. Oh, I love her skirt. Wow. Okay, Probably my favorite track I've heard so far. Like I said, from the sheer nostalgic. Okay, I gotta start it. That's getting added to my Spotify playlist officially. That song was so great. Like I said, I don't know if you heard me. It sounds just like Super Chick, if you've ever heard of that band before, the female vocalist, in the sense of like it just gave that kind of drive. A lot of their tracks have that like that kind of pull in it. If you don't know who Super Chick is, if you've ever seen Cadet Kelly, that we're diving back to like Disney Channel with Hilary Duff, and oh my gosh, she was an even Steve. This is a whole thing. But that was a track. Da da da. I'm not your average Jane. That part, like that song, that's Super Chick track. And so they have tracks just like this. And that was one of my favorite bands listening growing up. But also, the back track sounds just like Skillet too. So if you've ever heard Skillet or Super Chick and that whole realm and era of the Christian rock, you're in for a treat. It's so interesting, and it really, if you like Dreamcatcher, you'll like some of those discographies for sure. Goodness gracious, that really took me back. That was really nice in the feels. Just the musically. Let's talk about the dancing. Do I feel like some of the movement could have been driven a little bit more? Yes. Do I feel like it was also restricted because of the heels? Yes. So I understand that going in. Let's take a look here. So GU is wearing a purple sweater. Sua's wearing a white belted shirt with black shorts, which is in the front. Shein is wearing a gray sweater, so I'm assuming someone that says boy. Handong is wearing a tan sweater. So Handong, I think her hair, they got her hair completed. It looked like they was like two-toned, and then now it's like full flesh. Yuhyun is in the brown gray, like it looks like she's going somewhere, like on a business trip. She's giving that energy. Dami is in the green shirt, black jacket, but also her tone helps me pick her up. And Gahyun's in the white black sweater. Okay. Maybe the next one I'll be able to actually get them right. We will see. Maybe it'll be a little scavenger hunt for us. Okay. Initial thoughts. I really love this track. This track is sick. I cannot wait to see the visual version for this. It's going to be really cool. Okay. I love the nice little reveal of GU. GU also colored her hair. Ha because she had black hair. So she was in the hair salon for a long time is what that looks like. Notice that some of them are pulling and allowing the neck to kind of let that head stay where it is. Really fun choice. And then having it finish down, allowing GU to be revealed. Slowly coming up. They go do-do-do-do. There's the column we're going early. Is this centered? I don't think it is. I don't know if the camera's centered or what. It doesn't give off the energy that it's centered. They need a marker, or it would, I don't know. I don't know. It could be the camera needed to be centered or what, but this setup is, the spacing is slightly off. Please I just had to place my cat down. Okay, I love this pull here. They're all pulling and looking away and leaning. That's a really interesting way to do that. Normally people lean looking where they're going, so it's really cool to see this energy. But if you do know that not everybody's placing their hand in the kind of position that's complementary to each other, then we have this little peekaboo action happening between these three. I believe this would be Gahyun right here, would be what my gut tells me. And I love this roller coaster, guys. Trying to get people to do a roller coaster effect like that is so much easier said than done. It's really tricky to get the timing because it's all range. You know what I mean? Like getting from point A to point B in a certain amount of time, counting that's way harder than you think. So we typically don't count it. We're typically just like, okay, go, and they have to go off of just the vibes of who goes in front of them. It's just way easier to do it that way. So it's really nice, and I love the bleed through, and it creates this kind of ebb and flow situation, and I really like that. So coming in the center, that Y, and then the YY, having the peekaboos coming surrounding Sua. Looks like that she drops down. We're back to GU, repping it up. Then we have Gahyun in the middle. Really nice seeing that break there. Going back. I love that switch there. Bringing it into the chest is really nice. Then bringing it down. Honestly, they're doing a great job. I know some of them are in more of a chunkier heel. It is still trickier on your weight placement when you deal with the heel of any kind. So I do find that impressive. But do I feel like what I've said? Does I feel like it's taking away from the angstiness of the performance and how far they could push themselves? I do believe so for a track like this. Pulling it through, boom, boom, love this motion. Then we have GU right here, having everybody switch, but going from up to down. Beautiful visual, and I love how she complements it with her arms. Then having the switch over, I love how she looks down as everybody drops back down. Notice here you have, it looks like Yuhyun. Yuhyun is not completing the line with her head, but the other counterparts are, so that would be my general note for her. Then we go bleed it out, having a nice little reveal with sitting in the hips. Really nice to see. Normally you see that in like a sensual way, but there it's a more, not mischievous, but very direct. It feels very like, are you watching? But not sensual. And I like that. Honestly, that's probably my favorite part about this concept is it doesn't give just the concept that Dreamcatcher does. I do know in their dance practices they explore more sensual concepts. I really like this one because it feels like you can pull for a wide range of audiences who could just simply enjoy the music. Like for me, I didn't really know about their cleanliness until this marathon, but I've enjoyed their music, you know, and I really, really like this track a lot. It's going to be tough to beat for me personally. But you know, and I feel that I like the choices that they're given, and I feel like they're pulling for a wider audience because they're not, you know, some people may be turned off by groups that teeter a little bit in the sensual concepts. A lot of people would rather listen to individuals who have a more just a different type of tone or a different type of presentation and choreography. So I think that I know internationally, I heard they definitely more internationally renowned, and as they should be, because I think a lot of their sound really tailors to the Western audiences. At least in my case, like I love this song a lot. Like it dug into a core memory for me. It was weird, but like digging through, I love how they're choosing to bleed into Yuhyun. She has her moment, bleeding them back out, that boom, and then having it bleed over. Do I feel though that we needed to start it where Handong was? Dun, dun, dun. It does feel like we didn't quite. I know it could be because Handong, I think I'm getting more familiar with her. Handong, she didn't do anything energy-wise to initiate this transition, and I feel like that's what was missing for this, because it started very nicely with Jiu, but I feel like if it started on this side, everybody would feel contributed to it, and it didn't quite feel symmetrical because a lot of people were, I mean, we are writing teetering on a couple different levels, but a lot of them you would kind of itemize in the same level. So I would actually, because you have a couple people lower, you want people that are obvious midline, so you have multiple layers presented. So that would be my note there. I love this right here. They go down, and then having, that looks like Gahyun reaching up. I love that. It's a nice little fingerprint of what we've seen from some of their other work, it feels. I love it. They look nice presence, and then they transition, boom, creating another moment. Now having Handong have her moment on the side, really nice. And then they all bleed through, seeing Sua there branching out, and then having that's Handong, right? Yeah. So going through and then dropping it down, doing right here, really nice to see that. Range was great there with the pull through from her feature of Sua, and then having everybody go up was a nice choice. Now, notice. Now that's interesting. Who's featured there? It feels like Handong was late because her mirror is Shion, right? Because if you look, 1, 2, there's 3, 4, 5. So these two would be your mirrors. These two are mirroring each other, and then this is our center, and then these two would be mirroring. So when I say mirror, it's the concept of whenever you have a center point, and then if somebody's over here in this spacing, you want somebody of equal spacing from your center point on this side. It's like you're looking in a mirror. It's the exact concept. That's why we call it mirroring. And it does feel like Sheehan's a little bit too far back, so she needs to be a little bit more up. And it also looks like this Handong started too late. I think her add-on was a little late there. Because she's also not featured at this moment either. That's what made me think, are we featuring her? I don't think so. But then bleeding it in, and really nice to see everybody bleed in. Really nice for Sua. Her energy, great fit on her, at least with the top. The top really accentuates a lot of her lines, which works very well in this case. I like the energy that they did here. That was really, really nice to see. I mean, of course, you have some of these basic range things once again here, but nothing crazy. You have your feature, and then honestly, those that are mirroring each other are the ones that are kind of mimicking, which is best case scenario if you ask me, because like I said, with mirroring, you want to be intentional about whatever's happening with your center point. Whatever's happening on every other side, you want it to kind of be cohesive and make sense, especially if everyone's doing the same thing. So I think that's actually a pretty great situation to take place. The switching down, boom, boom, which is really nice. Range, of course, is much better there. Da-na-na-na. That was nice. Nice little accent with the chest. Okay, we see that here. down, nice to transition them back in. Now this would be a note, I would say my back two performers, like I would say my recommendation for them is to make sure they get to their spot around the same time, because just like with mirrors, we want to make sure that their movement matches if we're mirroring or if we're doing the same thing, and spacing and staging, but also you want to be mindful when you get from point A to point B. Does that actually match? Do we feel like it's creating a moment in and of itself, and it properly helps shape whatever formation you want to make, or the inception of the formation? Overall note 2, I believe Gahyun, she needs to move in just a little bit here, but nothing crazy. She fixes it, and I love that. Hitting it down, boom. I love this little accent with the head. Super cute that she chose to do that. Yep, and then she has her moment. Sayana goes all the way down, and then we bleed it all the way through. Now, I'm not quite sure what this kind of add-on is supposed to be. Boom, 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 boom. Love this. Why? For me, I like this in the very beginning or in this first chorus, but my intention, maybe it's because of the nostalgicness of it with this type of yearning and earnestness behind it. I would hope that we would have had more intention in building the energy every time we get to that what, versus having the same reserved. It feels a bit reserved near the end when it really should elevate and build and build and build, I think is my general note that I would give. I don't know if that's up to personal preference or if it's just whenever you develop a track and the tone is supposed to be that kind of drive, you want it to actually go somewhere, you don't want it to stall out. I think that's just showing symptoms of that just a little bit here. But it's still really nice that everyone's investing the same amount of energy. That's definitely an improvement we're seeing from the ladies, which I love. And we're all choosing different choices, but everyone is matching in the range of the dynamic, which is why it works so well. I also find it funny that she had to be in that position in such a long skirt. I found that funny. Hitting it down, why? Notice some of them are choosing to use the back and cadence with the shoulder, and some are using to just use the elbow. So that will be something to refine in general. Some are even just choosing to keep it locked in. I think it was Sua that was making it a little bit more reserved compared to others in the group. So that's just in general. I love this way, dun, way, ika. Love that. My dream. Yep. Oh, it kind of felt like we were losing balance for a second. Oh, yeah. So you notice she kind of stepped back a little bit to kind of regain her footing. That's heels for you. Bringing it down. Love this here. Reveal. Notice spacing slightly off. A little bit too much space happening over here compared to this side. But really nice reveal to frame towards the outside. Love that there. Diving in. You can also tell that she's not as comfortable in her heels as, of course, whenever you're wearing more flat footwear. And you can tell that because her range and her actual movement or her lunges aren't quite as risk-taking in those lunges. Like you noticed here with that pull through, notice she kind of kept it around shoulder length apart, and she kind of tailored more towards the elbow length apart. So it's a little bit more full. She on one side she dives a little bit more into the movement, which made it feel more full, and it framed nice, but it wasn't a big enough issue for it to actually be an issue. Ding ding, love that. Dipping it down. I do feel like one of them was diving in and then shifting out when nobody else was making that choice. But also I think it's because the commitment from her wasn't as extensive as I think it needed to be in comparison to who else was moving at that time. So that would just be my general note. I like that. Ding ding, swimming it around. I like that. Driving, yep, and also notice some of them didn't quite get this rotation the exact same, but it was nice. We saw the intention very clearly. I love this pull right there. I love that energy. That was a really nice build. Yep, dun dun, and then we go dun dun, building it up. Ding ding, love that right there. Nice little pocket moment. Yep, spacing here, really nice. Very impressed with this right here. Great. And now when we notice that, I don't know if everybody was at the right angle there. Some of them really overshot it, so you got to make sure. That's why energy matters. Where your energy goes, that's where that bad boy is chilling. And this is another note too. I feel that it's she's our feature, right, for this moment, but naturally we want to focus on Gahyun because she's the only one down, and I think that's the second time I've noticed that. I possibly in this one So that would just be something to fix, is just have more people representing the levels, because everybody's up except for one. So I don't know if that's like a wordplay or if it's something of that nature, but that is a bit of a disconnect for me, because there's not other levels justified, so it feels very out of place. And if she was a feature, it'd be completely fine, but she's not, and so that's why it feels a little off, you know. Pulling through, really nice. I love this here. Boom. I love that. Switching it over. Such nice dynamics. Boom, boom. Why? I like that. Boom. Just the intention of this, of the isolation between this, the stoicness of the body and then traveling the arms out is just so nice. Notice the formation is slightly off. She's kind of catering a bit behind, and it appears like we're looking at mirrors. Boom, boom. Yeah, because it's symmetrical. There. But honestly, though, when you look at it, both of these girls are a little bit more in front of their mirrors, so I think that was intentional. So we'll chalk it up to that. Could be a transition thing for that. I love the pull in there. And then having one of them come through. I like the choice of everybody moving in opposition. That was fun. Like the what to do, very sharp. Definitely like a Harlem Shake pattern, but not a Harlem Shake. Like that, boom, boom, bringing it over. And I have talked about that Harlem Shake variant before. So that's a nice little fingerprint from what we've seen from their earlier work. I like that energy that she brings it down, but notice they're not really investing the weight changes in this part, and I feel like the heels may be a reason why, but I really feel like just that pull and that energy really does help build a little bit more here as what we need, because we're about 2.5 minutes in, and you want to continue to build and to bring more to the table, and not just let the song carry it, but you have to carry it with the song. Now, Handong, let me see. Yeah, I'm really trying to not use my paper as much, but it's still a bit tricky because it's my first time like trying to repeat names, man. Yeah, Wei, boom, down. I love that she is the only one up, having this little repeat moment. Nice, bringing it through, touching it out. Really nice to see this. Dropping it down. That was nice. Boom, boom. That's Dami, right? Yeah. Yeah, green shirt with a black jacket. Yeah. That right there, it does feel like very just placed in movement. So with Dami, I do feel like my hope for her is that as I see her more, that we're able to see a little bit more looseness whenever she is featured. Looseness meaning that there's more posture exploration outside of just doing the movement, because she's the feature and she has to move. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like she did a very good job with our prop one from I believe it was You and I. She did it definitely. It was really nice to see her there, but it was a little bit sorry. I have a cat that likes to come join us a lot of times, so he likes to mess with the camera. Anyway, but that's just my overall note for her. My hopes would be that her posture and how she chooses to move and present herself has a sense more of like fluidity or posture fluency, meaning that she feels comfortable and not just has to do choreography because everybody else is doing choreo. I think it's kind of my point, and I know we have seen major progress from everybody in that regard, but that's like my end goal for her specifically, because I've clocked her, I have her name, I have a face. That's kind of like my in general, like I know her role. That would be a really great goal to see from her, and I'm excited for that to happen. Diving it down, boom, boom, boom. Really nice to see that. She comes up. Notice that it's just more so like a place position, and she comes up. Yes, we could chalk it up to it being stoic or being like, not stagnant, but having to hold a position with confidence. But you notice though that she is sitting into the pelvis a lot here, where not a lot. I mean, just enough to where it just feels that she's holding a position, and there's no regard to trying to figure out a different way to make it happen, I think is my in general note in comparison to the other members that we've seen whenever they're featured. You know what I mean? Even as she's walking, she's being intentional about which foot she's picking up and taking down. I love this motion here with that little ranajam. I would just say clarify if you're going to drag it on the floor or if you're going to have it in the air. I like the drag on the floor because there's a name, ranajam, and then ranajam on layer is like a ranajam or a rotation in the air. I mean, both are fine. It's easier to clean when it's connected to the floor. But I do like that where they go from the outside and then the tailoring towards the inside, walking through. Love that little pull of energy in the neck. Really nice to see that. And then she has her moment right there. Really nice leader moment. I do feel like she does whenever it comes to really key tone shifts in tracks. I'm noticing that Jiu is kind of the one that takes on that role. But it's still really nice, and normally a lot of leaders are put in those. I think that's what I caught with Hongjoon from ATEEZ, is that's the kind of energy I got. I didn't even try with 17, like try to find their leader. I was just trying to figure out like just one new person every time. I think it was just a whirlwind getting through that one. but here I do feel like I have more time to get to know the members, and I think that's just kind of the structure we've noticed. She does a good job of resetting or reintroducing the tension or the intention behind the track, which I really like. Turning it through. I love how she was the only one that did not move at all. I really like that. That's Xian. And it was different because normally you see that in the center, but she was over on the side, so that was a fun choice. That right there, I think for me, this would be the perfect opportunity to explore more fuller choreo to justify this ending. I think that's my holdup, is that we've already kind of seen this, and it feels very restrictive. Could be because of concept, could be because of wordplay, which I understand. But that build-up was really nice. That pull-through was good. So we just have really nice moments, but I really felt like just the overall essence and presentation of this very final chorus just feels a bit here versus having a little bit of elevation to bring us to that end with that drive. I think is my general note for this. On a choreographic side, it has nothing to do with the girls. Nice to see that there. Of course, we love that. Now everyone gets to do their own move, more full, boom, boom. Yeah, notice I think everybody is attempting to go more full, and the formations are slightly different too, which does help. Yeah, that especially, you really see that pull of energy near that last one especially. So I will give them that, which I appreciate. I love that. Boom, everybody in unison to finish it up. And then right here, it does feel like we're supposed to, oh, hold on, let me see if I can, I think it's like something like this, I think. I could be like completely incorrect. That's okay, because it's so blurry, I can't really know. But I'm assuming there's like a particular image, because that's exactly what Xian's doing. It's like it's giving this kind of like crown-like image. And it could be like the introduction to the new logo. I don't quite know, but that's, you know, I really like that, just that imagery, and the tail end was really cool. Then they come up and down and they finish. So here's the deal. When it comes to the track, I freaking love it. When it comes to the choreo, it's exactly what we expect from Dreamcatcher, which is excellence and synchronicity, great transition choices. They also do a fabulous job of presenting who their feature is. I think for this one in particular, I just think there was a couple level things that I think we could have refined or made some different choices, which has nothing to do with them. Also with spacing and staging, it could be they may not have marked the room or some other circumstances, because some of their spacing was a little bit more off than what we would normally see. But once again, I don't expect that as something normal from them. It's not really a chronic thing with them. It's mostly presentation of posture shifts, which is what we noticed here a little bit more, because with this type of song, because I feel like it makes sense why Dreamcatcher tailors more towards the westernized, you know, international countries. And I'm not talking about like exclusively Western, but for me, because I come from a Western country, like very Western, and I grew up off of music that sounded so similar in drive, emotion, and overall just essence. I have a little extra investment cognitively to a type of track like this, and so there's probably naturally more expectation, or there's more understanding of how the emotions can be manipulated to make you feel a certain way based on how the progression of the track happens. And so choreographically, you would want to replicate that visually, and I just feel like there was a couple moments where I wish if we made different choices, it would have really helped with that drive to finish it off nice and strong. But it was a very, very well done routine, as always, which is why I love doing this marathon so much, because I know with every video that I'm going to watch, there's always going to be something so captivating and beautiful about it, and we get to see these girls work their butts off, and I'm so glad that they've received the success that they have. It's truly such a joy that we get to do this. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more Dreamcatcher or more K-pop in general, I have so much of it on YouTube, but I have so much more on Patreon. Just like with this video, all of Dreamcatcher's stuff I always post first on Patreon, and then as the experience comes back, I release older reactions slowly. I do that with every single marathon I do. So far, I've had XG, ATEEZ, 17, and even got some Gen 5s locked and loaded with Boy Next Door and Psychers, where it's just as they release new things, I get to release an X amount of older stuff, and it just makes it fun, and it gives a nice exclusive, like, not pay-per-view, but really nice, if you want to get it as I make it, kind of access That's why Patreon is there. But if you're okay with just waiting it out and seeing what I post on YouTube every day, that's absolutely fine. I hang out on both nonetheless. Once again, I am Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye!